That body demanded all of my attention. The 2,000 flowers in the back of the van for Valentine's didn't matter. The 5 people waiting for my instructions weren't important. All that mattered was my head was spinning, my eyes were blurring, and when I tried to reach to get my keys from the ignition, my hand wouldn't respond. And then I couldn't speak. No words came out. 5 years of pushing through chronic pain and inflammation caught up to me that day. The diagnosis was systemic lupus. There is no cure. That experience was a TIA, a warning stroke. I weighed 110 pounds. I was 34 years old, and I really felt like my life was being stripped of possibilities. Sometimes in life, there's a chance meeting, a connection, a message that changes our direction. And that happened for me. An extraordinary woman taught me the natural arts of self-care of mind and body. My phoenix from the ashes, recovery and remission, made me passionate about the natural health world. I wanted to be involved, and I hadn't seen how yet. Until one bright August morning in 1995 in the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, I walked into an old Chinese medicine building. In the lobby, there was a sign that said spa. I followed that into the basement. And there I turned and looked through a doorway. There was a beautiful plate of exquisitely sliced emerald green kiwi, a bowl of almonds and apples, and in the corner, the Bolshoi Ballet was playing on a video monitor. The white plastered walls were painted with 12th century icons, very colorful, and there were 3 hand-carved doors. I felt like I was stepping into the old world, and it was a new world for me. 2.5 hours later, I came out of there with an absolute clarity and conviction. I knew what I would do next. I would pivot. I would found a holistic health spa in La Jolla, California. What happened in 2.5 hours? I soaked in a saltwater tub, I had a massage, and then I went into the hottest Finnish sauna you could ever imagine. Steamed with lavender, steamed with peppermint, steamed with eucalyptus, and then oak leaves tapped to move the lymphatic system. Slathered with honey to moisturize my skin, I thought, what possibly could be next? 5 gallons of ice water. Boom! It was the Baltic Sea treatment. But that not only flushed toxins from my body, it flushed limitations from my mind. And that was good because I returned to San Diego and I heard, wow, that sounds complicated. Where will you get the money? I thought you were a florist. And of course I was, but I now knew I was making this pivot. I found what I wanted to do next. I built my business plan and made my pitch, and within 11 months, the sources, the team, and the talent came together to make this a reality. I stepped into a 7-month decision tree for build out and launch, and that was a roller coaster, and I had my moments, especially one that I'll never forget. The architect called. He said, Rhana, the city is coding your business as adult entertainment. Pedal to the metal, straight to City Hall. In April of 1997, I sold my flower shop and we opened a spa. It was more dazzling and beautiful than I had imagined. The walls all curved, there were copper fountains bubbling throughout, flower-filled alcoves, French Vichy showers, stone and cedar saunas, hydrotherapy tubs, all fresh, all wonderful, and all serene. Plus, I had an amazing group of people, highly skilled in the disciplines of aesthetics and body care. I learned that a brand is more than a logo and a color. It's really the multisensory way that we connect our business purpose with our clients. It's alive. For us, that meant tuning every touch point to one channel. How will this make our clients feel? We aimed for bliss. And it worked. Barbra Streisand came, Deepak's people came, Glamour magazine sent people down by the busloads. If you can imagine, we grew at 40% a year for the first 4 years. We all learned to manage the inevitable backroom chaos and keep our suave voices and poise. I met my limitations and went for more education, a degree in organizational management. And with that, and my incredible team, we won awards, we contributed to our community. We worked 3 words, relax, replenish, and renew, for nearly a decade, until another reword came in, and that was recession. A 45% drop in revenue sustained over 18 months, and I saw this wonderful company that had served 60,000 clients, employed 250 people, begin to fade. My staff was scared, and so was I, but I really couldn't show it. We had to pivot, but where to? I still remember the moment I was standing on top of Mammoth Mountain at 11,000 feet, facing an avalanche of issues that were going through my head, and I was just about to not jump. I was about to ski the steeps, and the conditions were crud, and I thought, you know, this is really a metaphor for the road ahead. 3,000 vertical feet later, I knew what I was going to do. We had marketable assets. We had databases and inventories. We had IP for operations, and I had this core group of people. When the stakes are high and the stress is high and the outcome is uncertain, I had to find a way that I could navigate this. I created a process for myself that kept me making constructive and creative choices every day, kept me from getting stuck into, this is happening to me, why? And moving beyond that to, this is happening for me, so that. I kept a log of everything that was possibly happening that was good, and some days that was a pinpoint. But 100 days into that, I wrote, I met a buyer today. We negotiated the sale of all the assets and moved these employees to new positions in a new company. I agreed to consult for 3 months, and then it was over. First time in 30 years, I had no employees. First time in 30 years, I didn't have a place to go to work my magic. First time in 30 years, I wasn't signing a payroll check. Honestly, my nest was not only empty, it was gone. In my world, that's why God gave us dogs and gardens and nature. Not long after that, a friend of mine said, Rhana, there's a technology incubator in town. It's a satellite out of Silicon Valley. Maybe your idea that you're doing would work. Maybe you should apply. And I did. I took a secret test with a secret algorithm that would reveal to me whether or not I had the startup entrepreneurial characteristics. I crossed my fingers. And I'll never forget the first night. We met in a law office conference room. There were 28 aspiring founders, 26 business ideas, 5 women, which was a lot, 2 of us over 50, and the rest of the room was filled with very talented, accomplished mentors who were there to critique our ideas. I was out of my sensory element. It was hot. And it showed when the director called me to the front first. What's your idea? What problem does it solve? Why is that important? What's your solution? Why you? And how does it make money? I'm not altogether sure what I said. By the looks of the faces of the people, I could have been speaking in tongues. I learned 3 things in 3 minutes. 1, if you want men to check out of your pitch, say, women's empowerment. Two, if you have no idea what someone just said to you, be kind and say, that sounds esoteric. That's what they said to me. And three, when a venture capitalist stands up and says, we want sexy ideas that scale to 100 million in 5 years, just give them the Mona Lisa smile. You never know. I had the endorsement of my idea from an oncology psychologist, and that and my own persistence kept me powering through the 4 trial by fire months of this incubator. And in the end, there were only 8 of us left of the original 28. I was one. So if anybody's dozing off next to you, just give them a little nudge. I designed and launched a mobile web app for, yes, women's empowerment, self-care of mind and body, and self-development, and it is called Brighter Step. Today, with my work with applied eco-psychology and nature reconnection, I feel like it's a full circle moment to that day in the Chinese medicine building. 2,000 years ago, Aristotle said we had 5 senses, but now today we know we have more than 50. That's probably more relevant to our self-care of mind and body and to our business branding than we've realized. I'm adding to that conversation with my upcoming book, Wildly Genius. Let nature bring out the brilliance in your life and leadership. I've learned a lot of things on this journey, and one is that self-care of mind and body is not only sexy, it is necessary. It's how we go from stuck and stressed to unstoppable and courageous. And when we pivot out of our comfort zone into the unknown, it takes courage and trust. And on the other side of that, there's a gift. And that is that we are all more than we think we are. Forget about failure. Life is a pivot.